Okay.
All right, so you got the hourglass.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Go on. Was that all you bought?
I bought a very nice. So she was impressed by my vernacular when it comes to, is this soy base or a soy blend? She's like,
yes.
Soy based.
Oh yeah, you impressed her.
Yeah. I should have told her. I also do
DJ,
pedicures.
you always impress the women.
It was so crazy. But no, I'd always wanted a like an hourglass. Like
So,
the
but it's a
1007.
half hour
It's a
glass?
half hour.
I love that.
Yeah. I don't have enough time for an hour. The half hour still I can do. I can't do a full hour. I'd be waiting for the grains to drain.
I don't feel like I should be sitting here because it's JD, DJ. What the heck am I going to be?
No, you're part of the pyramid.
Don't worry about it.
I need some
3 points.
I don't want to be LS. That's boring.
We're not on the air yet or anything, so don't.
LA? I can use my middle name? JD,
LS.
DJ, LA, LS. Okay.
It all connects.
I just wanted to feel part of the club here.
Do you like being called Damien?
No.
You don't.
We would never call him that. Sorry.
Nope. No.
Why?
My mother only. Why? Because first of all, it's easy to spell DJ, and if you can't spell that, you're a moron and we shouldn't be friends.
Well, all right.
But Damien always gets messed up, and then I have to explain how to spell it. And oh, really? That's not how.
Is it I before E?
It is.
Except after.
I don't know.
No, it's D-E-M. Even though it's pronounced Damien, it's D-E-M.
Oh, I
and then
would have
it's
gone
I-A-N because apparently my mom
Oh,
and
see,
my
I had that
uncle-
all backwards.
Yeah,
I
everybody
100%
does.
had that
So,
backwards.
Lori, I've known you for a couple of weeks. I've known this character.
Couple of weeks, so
It's
give me a
couple
little
of weeks.
more.
Couple
All
months.
right,
I'd say
month and a
couple
half. Month and a half.
I think you meant a couple months.
Couple of
All right,
months.
2 months.
My
I've
God,
known
you're
that-
divorcing me already. I've known you 2 weeks.
I've known this specimen for a couple of years, and I might even say that you and I are closer. Than this guy.
Is that how we're going to start off?
I'm just
I
saying.
feel like I didn't bring my whistle, but I might have to borrow JD's.
She and I have we've hit it off, thanks to Michael Deering for introducing us.
Well, I mean,
But our
Because
common denominator.
You didn't.
Oh, whoops.
I didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, but-
you never introduced us. Deering
But we
gets the
talk
credit.
about you all the time.
It had to be in the same circle at the same moment.
There's
I mean,
all of these-
it's been a long time since I've been in here.
How do you know Lori Shepherd? Talk to me. Bring it
Can
down.
we go years first? I feel like it's been. Can I go more than 20?
Was she
it's gotta be-
babysitting you?
Ow, that's.
See how?
You
See
wanna
how
Ow to me.
Come on, let's go.
No, see how he gave and then he pulled back.
Yes.
He gave a compliment to you and then he pulled it back. No, it was softball, and I'd say it was probably 20 years.
It's at least been 20 years.
Yeah, and we just hit it off. I was
Instant.
coaching, and she was on third. We just in between innings.
Yeah.
we just
He was
we
base
just hit it
coaching.
off.
How could you not hit it off with this lady?
No, it's easy. But we really hit it off. It was like, and I feel this way a lot about people that come into my lives. I feel like and I said this to you.
Yeah.
In the 2 months, not the 2 weeks, okay? You just hit it off right out of
Yeah.
the chute, and you feel like you've known the person forever.
Right.
And
We're still in
I
the
feel
honeymoon
that way.
stage. We haven't had any marital problems yet at all.
No.
We haven't even had a
we're
fight
beyond
yet.
the honeymoon stage, and we've had no marital problems
No,
either.
we always, and you know, it's the craziest thing because our circles overlap.
Yes.
You know,
They do.
in different
Yes.
Yep.
different moments, and you know, it'll be a year or so before I'll see Lori, and then
But those are the best friends.
we
though.
do not skip a beat. When we lock eyes, we go hug,
Yes.
shoot the shit, and then
Shep,
everybody else
Shep will
is
text me, and I won't text her back for 3 or 4 days. She doesn't get her feelings hurt.
No.
She just knows.
He's shooting that at me because I have to answer my phone all the time, and I'll send him a text for 2 or 3 days. He doesn't get back. I'm like, yeah, I know. You have limited service in that town of 16 you live in. But he does come to Barry
I
each
thought he was
day,
gonna
and then
ding
it all
you on
jumps
that
up,
one.
and he
Yeah.
That
never-
deserved a ding, the town of 16. It's
That's
too late now.
not
It's too
worthy
late.
of a ding. Not worthy of a ding.
Yeah, it's because it's 18. He's just speaking. Yeah.
But those, honestly, those are the best friends who understand. They
He's
understand.
my brother from another mother.
This guy is. Have you ever seen him just sit and not move?
Ooh, see, now we're talking 20 years, and I can say no. So, getting to know him on the softball field.
Yeah. Does he walk around the softball field that fast? Oh, he's always
Yeah, he's always on the move. He's always on the move. And you're right. Now that I think about it, I watched a playoff game with him recently in this past season at Tanya McCauley's house, and I don't think you sat.
Oh,
I mean,
was it
granted, the
basic?
Cowboys were on, so I knew what. And I've always wanted to watch. All these years, I've never watched a Cowboy game with this guy. And it was so much fun. And I do think the combo of the two of us brought the Cowboys good luck because they won the playoff game, right? It was over Tom Brady and the Bucks.
Were you screaming, "Go Steelers"? I mean Cowboys.
Dolphins. I had my Dolphin jersey. Actually, I had this on. Yes. I had my cowboy attire on.
She was in full support.
Because I may be a long-suffering Dolphin / I cheer for the Steelers for my sister, but I'm a football fan.
Yes.
So I like players.
Right.
I've always liked Troy Aikman. He was my first. Oh my God, it's Troy. Actually, Roger Staubach. I have to put him there too. So I had a thing for Cowboy quarterbacks, even Tony Romo.
Really?
Oh.
I really actually liked Tony Romo.
I like him.
My sister probably just shut this off.
No. I love Tony Romo from the start of the season until the first day of December.
Yep.
And then after that, forget it. You might as well. You could put a robot out there.
So who would you put number one in the pecking order all-time Cowboy quarterbacks?
Oh, well, I mean...
For you, not...
Staubach, Aikman just because of the championships, but he just had such a perfect mix, you know?
Yep.
He had a wide receiver. He had a running back all day long. I mean, he had a fullback. I mean, he had everything that you could possibly want.
Moose. You're talking about Moose with the fullback.
Daryl Moose Johnston.
Oh, my God, I forgot about him until you said fullback, and I'm like, who?
Well, yeah, because they didn't do fullbacks.
Who is it? What's the name of the guy? Tristan Vizcaino? Is that the kicker?
Oh.
Who's the kicker for the Cowboys?
Brett Maher. How do you say his last
I'm
name?
going to say Maher.
We're going to call,
Missy Misserton.
He's no longer
really...
part of the team.
What's that?
He's the smartest man ever played for the Cowboys. He left the team, JD. The kicker of all people to leave the I mean, man, that's the smartest dude who's ever played for the Cowboys.
He's been listening this whole time.
That's a long stretch to say the smartest that's ever played.
To play for the Cowboys.
Wow.
Yeah, because he stayed just a short amount of time. He's like, this is a dumpster
Did
fire.
they
And
get
then
rid of him?
took
He
off.
stayed.
The Cowboys have had some dumpster fires. There's no question about it.
I just wanted. Did this guy graduate?
They've been a dumpster fire since the late 90s.
Did this guy
Mid-90s.
Did he graduate from high school? This guy.
Are you talking to the guy on the phone right now?
No, I'm talking about the
knew you were
kicker.
gonna
I'm
go that
talking
way.
about the damn kicker.
You don't have to graduate. Most of these guys probably don't actually graduate really from
Well, you don't
anything.
have to.
Yeah. You've got a
That's
physique and they throw
unfortunate.
some money.
I mean,
at you.
did he come right out of like Pee Wee football and go right into the Cowboys? I mean, what's going on here?
He used to be good.
The
What
problem
happened?
is he cracked under pressure. And then he got into his own head and he just couldn't get out
Then
of it.
he had
It's
Chuck
spiraled.
Knobloch syndrome. He did.
So what did he missed?
He can't throw from
All I
second
could
to
think-
first.
All I could think
He
of
missed four
was-
kick. He missed four
don't have
field
extra
goals.
points.
Well, I don't even know why we're talking about
And
this. in
if it
baseball.
was the
Stop
previous,
it.
if we count the previous game to that, it was 5.
It's otherwise known as choking, JD. He choked.
Yes, and all of us in our lifetime have choked at times.
He
just did it on the biggest possible stage he could.
What happened
muster.
to this man? Where is he right now? What is he
We
doing
think
right now?
he's
He
Still
took
in the
Kurt.
Cowboys?
He took Kurt Warner's job bagging groceries out in Arizona.
That was a good one.
He
That
just
was a
went-
good one.
He went to the he just
That
went
was
to
good.
the other extreme. It was truthfully. I mean, I've
Did you
watched
cry?
a lot of. I get frustrated.
Okay. Did you cry? I asked you a question. Did you cry?
I did
Yes
not
or no?
Cry. I don't cry.
Okay.
I've failed many times in my life. I've never failed 5 times in a row. But,
Okay.
Well said.
It was
said.
hard to watch because everything in this guy's entire life was on display, and he missed the first one, and then you were thinking, okay, whatever. They miss. Sometimes they miss.
Exactly. They do
Then
miss
he
those
missed the
extra
second
points.
one, like, yeah, okay, well, he's over on the bench. The guys are coming over. They're going to be patting him on the back. So, no problem. 2. What's 2?
Yeah.
Then he missed 3.
And it rotted
And
in his
this is
brain.
where I turned my hat around, kind of like Sylvester Stallone in Over the Top. I'm like, okay, it's time to put the rally caps on.
Oh,
What's going on with you?
It's true.
But you get in your own head. And I mean, and you are on the biggest stage in the entire world.
Planet,
And you
sure.
cannot I don't think he had the right people around him talking in his ear. I don't think he probably didn't approach things in the right way to just, I mean, and then he misses like in the 4th. And
now you got him going.
Did you yell, "Oh, fire truck"? Was food flying? Did you
No.
rip your shirt
I
off?
purposely did not have anything in my hands. And I will tell you this, because when he missed the 3rd, I said there's no way he's hitting the next one. I really said that there's
Really?
no way he's hitting the next one. He is too deep in this. He's deep enough to hang posters in this rut that he's in, and there was no way. And there it was. I mean, and you hit you hit the post. I was like, you couldn't give me that. You almost want to see him walking away, looking up like, oh, come on, Sky Daddy.
Yeah.
You could have just threw me that one.
Yeah. And then the mental side takes over.
Yeah.
And then you
Right.
start aiming. What am I doing wrong? Oh,
Right.
God, I've done
You
this
overcorrect it.
1,000 times
Right.
a week in
He
practice.
overcorrected.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was nothing he could do from that point. And,
There was a second baseman for the Yankees
What
who
would-
couldn't hit first base.
right.
And he
Mr.
was throwing from second.
Mr.
JD could
Autry-
do that.
Autry, what do you think? What would have happened if he did get that field goal and the Cowboys were able to advance? What would have happened then?
What?
He hung up.
Man, well, every Cowboys fan in America would have been like, "Told you so." Best team in the country.
Not every.
Going all
not-
the way.
The rednecks would be saying that.
You were smart to put a Steeler and a Cowboy fan on here together.
Yeah, the rednecks would be saying that. We have known that we haven't had it all for almost 28 years. So
I disagree.
Dolphin
You might be the only Cowboy fan in the world who's honest, because I know a lot of them. And here's their year, and I think this year in the draft, I think they're going to select a kicker in the first round, just like one guy in every fantasy football league. They're going to do it. You wait and see.
if they select a kicker
In the first round.
It's
Oh,
going
my God. You're killing
be
me.
on Sports-
Autry, you're
yeah.
killing me now.
I
to
don't
be
see
on
that.
Sports
happening.
Center, not top 10. It's going to be fantastic.
It is. It's sad to say how. I mean, every football fan thinks that this is going to be the season at the beginning of the season because you have new hopes. It's like springtime. Spring
Yeah,
comes
unless
around,
you're a Dolphin
the grass
fan.
is growing up.
Yeah.
But then you hope that they make some good picks. You hope they make
Right.
some off-season adjustments. I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do.
Autry, do you watch the NFL draft? I don't know if I asked you that.
I do. If I'm home,
too.
I watch it. I keep up with it on my phone.
I don't watch it.
Autry, are you looking at your phone right now? Or are you just
I am looking at my phone right now.
check this out, man? Look at this.
Hi, Dad.
There's probably a little bit of a delay here, but
Oh, my boy is there.
check it out.
Oh, I didn't know that's who was walking in.
Check it out.
We would have put the red carpet out that I keep telling JD
Look at
yes
that.
to
Say
get.
hi to Dad.
Hi, Dad. How are you?
Hey,
Look at
buddy,
that smile.
His 13th birthday is in a couple weeks, and he wanted to come see his friends in Vermont. So he is there for the weekend.
Sweet.
Good choice coming to Vermont to celebrate your B-Day,
Right.
even though we're 2 weeks out. 13.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
So, how did you do in your...
Your dad and I are right now.
We're talking about the Steelers.
We're
Are you
talking about the
surprised?
Steelers and
talking
the
about the
Cowboys.
Cowboys,
too. And your dad's getting all upset and he's starting to throw things down on the house.
Dad, remember, Mom's coming back in a few days.
Yeah,
We're
calm
coming
down.
back in a few
You-
days, so.
You're coming back too, son. So
Yeah, but you need to get all those pizza boxes out of there. Get those pizza boxes out of there before Becca comes home. Come on.
hey, listen. Ask Sam how he feels about the Cowboys.
I might not be able to say this, but they're garbage.
Ouch.
Are you a Steeler fan?
You better get out
Okay.
of here.
Why? They couldn't even keep their stadium name the same.
Okay, so
here.
Nice to
because
meet you.
he might chase you out of here.
Yeah. No.
God.
Why?
I know,
Heinz
you're-
Field.
Wow.
You're getting beat up right now.
I've raised my son well.
I don't care.
I would say I've gotten all things right, but I've gotten that part right. So,
I love it.
Mr. Autry, are you going to be tuned into the draft? And if so, how much attention are you going to be paying to it? Do you live and breathe the draft like Shep does?
a little bit. As a Steeler fan, I am not like Cowboy fans. A Steeler fan is usually pretty honest about our season.
What?
We don't come in with a lot of high hopes, and that's just being honest. I don't think we're. So
You're just being honest about not being truthful.
All right, Autry, what do the Steelers? Yeah, what do the Steelers need in the first round then? Not a kicker.
There you go.
we need an offensive line.
Right.
It's hard to get in the first round.
Line.
Yeah,
Which
well,
that's
there's a
usually-
couple, but they'll go quickly.
Yeah, that's usually what we go for. Is some
Can
kind
I?
of
Can I say one name to you? And it's not offensive line. How about Joey Porter Jr.?
At safety, or he's corner, right?
Yes, he is a corner.
I think. Well, I mean, you got to look at who did we lose a few weeks ago. We still got Minka, but we lost somebody big.
Yeah, but who did you get? There was somebody from Yep, he left the Vikings. Free agency, went to the Steelers. Patrick Peterson.
Yes. Yeah. See, I mean, it would be smart to put a rookie behind somebody like Patrick Peterson and go to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
It'd be a smart move. I mean, I think it's possible. I think they want to build around Kenny Pickett, though.
Absolutely. Well, the biggest need is, yes, to protect him. You're absolutely right. You got to protect Pickett. The only quarterback taken in the first round last year. Come on, that still to me is just.
Yeah, it is hard to believe, especially when you think about. I don't think you're going to have that issue this year.
No, because now they're talking about the first 4 picks being quarterbacks if the Cardinals literally at 3 auction off their pick to a needy team like the Raiders. I'm just going to throw the Raiders out there. So a needy team that's in the top 12 and wants to go to 3, it would then put quarterback.
Could you put the Broncos in there too?
Yeah.
What a despicable season that was.
If Russell Wilson can't rebound with Sean Payton, then there's a serious issue.
I'm going to tell you this. If he doesn't do something in the first 3 games.
Exactly.
He's
100% agree
I think
with
he's
you.
toast.
I do too.
Honestly. Like
I don't think Sean Payton's going to wait.
You think you'll give him the first game or just the preseason?
I think he's going to wait. Halftime of the first game.
What they spent to get Peyton? It was a pretty decent.
It was a lot, and it was a draft pick as well.
Right. There was 2
to get a coach.
More than, was it more than one?
I
can't remember.
I know they have it's a first or second from the Broncos that the Saints now have, and that's pretty great to get when you're just releasing a coach from their contract that has no intention of going back to you.
Right.
Yep.
That's pretty impressive.
For me, I mean, as bad as my Cowboys did, the hype that was in the beginning of the season for the Broncos and all the Broncos. Look what we got. And that first game was like, okay. And then, was it second or third game? It finally had the home opener. Like, all right, he's getting in front of the home crowd. He's going to have the home crowd. And he couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a shovel.
Because remember, he had to go to Seattle for game 1.
Right.
No pressure there. I'm going to go back to Seattle and play my first game.
That's true.
So you expected that, but then you're right.
Just couldn't.
It just snowballed through the whole season.
Horrible.
And I will say this, and I know my numbers are kind of right. The Broncos went out and spent I want to say $100 million, the contracts. I don't know if this is guaranteed, on 2 offensive linemen.
Right.
What?
A tackle and I think a center or a guard. Yep, McGlinchey and
mil?
Powers to protect Russell Wilson. So, yeah. I think I'm with Autry and DJ, as I always am. Maybe it's one game in if he doesn't. Because they did sign Jarrett Stidham, the backup for the Raiders. Sean Payton's high on him, so.
It'd be fun to watch. I don't ever watch the draft, honestly.
Because first round, me, it's always.
I don't even. I've watched it maybe. I could count on 2 fingers.
You should watch it with me because it's all about we just predict the pick and just have fun with it.
Okay. So that I will do.
A drinking game.
Yeah. No, I'll do that.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Real quick about the Patriots. All right. So with Mac Jones out in Boston, Bailey Zapp stepping in at QB, what is Boston? What's New England going to do in the draft?
Oh, ask JD. He knows who's quarterbacking the Patriots. We already discussed this. I mean, JD made the pick.
What did I do?
Lamar Jackson. Come on, when I went.
Yes.
Yeah. JD thinks it's going to be Lamar Jackson.
And he's not.
Yeah, whoever he is.
But then Odell Beckham went there, so I'm
I know,
that's not
and that was the
happening
thing.
now.
And there's no guarantee he's staying, so. Right? No guarantee.
No.
I mean.
Autry, do you really think Mac Jones is out, or do you think that, him and Bill Belichick will go out, have dinner, go to the movies, smooth the waters? I mean, what do you think?
Well, listen, I'm biased because I hate the Patriots, but
I'm with you.
I get that because you kept calling them Boston, but not New England, just Boston.
Yeah,
the Boston Patriots.
That's right. I will say this. I know Belichick likes to handle everything in house. If you go against Belichick, you're toast.
You're toast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly
so
how.
I think he's done. I think maybe if he's there by training camp, I'll be shocked.
Okay, so what about Bailey Zappi? Come on, Belichick loves him, and he's not a rookie anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I think Belichick will keep him.
So don't I.
Yeah,
I think he could be under center.
Yeah, and I'll go as far as saying that I think that not only is Mac Jones out, but I think he'll look to get some big draft picks for Mac Jones. And he had a bad second year. He had a bad second year, but every quarterback has a bad second year. So I think he's due for a good year. If he's gone out and gotten help with his throw and making decisions, and he's already in good health, man, why wouldn't you try to at least put him on your rosters as a second quarterback?
The part I don't understand, though, is he supposedly went outside of the organization because the offense was struggling, and Matt Patricia's not an offensive coordinator last year. But then Belichick goes out and gets Bill O'Brien from the University of Alabama, his buddy, who is a outstanding offensive coordinator. So you're kind of bringing him from Alabama for Mac Jones. I guess that's where I went.
Yeah, he has history, though, right? Like he and Belichick, he coached it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
O'Brien, yeah. So maybe I'm buying into it too much that he's coming in because Mac Jones also played for Alabama, offensive coordinator, Alabama. I don't know. I just thought they were going to hug it all out and bring it back together.
And it's still maybe. That's when you watch NFL and you see how everything kind of slides around and it feels like it's going to go this way and then it doesn't go that way at all. And you're like, I never saw that coming.
Right.
Wait, does Bill Belichick, is he married?
To football.
To football.
Well, I understand.
He was in the height of his, like when he was first into it, I know got divorced. I think he is.
I have no idea.
Don't know.
Do you know, Chris?
I think he is.
I have no idea.
You're going to
Second
Google
marriage. Second marriage.
We've never seen his wife.
Well, that doesn't.
It could be.
Probably. Do you think she wears cutoff sleeves too?
Well,
the hoodie with the neck all cut.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, what do you think he's worth? If you had to guess.
What is he, dollar figure wise?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a pretty nice chunk
probably.
of change.
Probably a couple $100 million, I would say.
Yeah, because he's got to be the highest, one of the highest paid. Because coaches used to get paid peanuts, and now they
make stupid.
I'm just curious
money.
If his wife or his best friend or somebody says, "Bill, you look like a slob."
Oh, he won't care.
But put a nice shirt on, comb your damn hair, and Bill, seriously, I just wonder if his wife pulls him aside and says, "Bill, can you lighten up, pal? Smile a little bit."
I want you to.
Do you have anything to say? You have nothing to say. You just stand there with this frown on your face, like you're absolutely miserable, like you don't want to be there. Do you enjoy what you do? You just won the game, bud.
Yeah.
Say something.
So he has
smile.
Yeah. He has resting bitch face.
Yes,
Bill
I know.
has resting.
Thank you for
but
saying that.
for him,
lighten up and put a nice shirt on, pal. God,
I'm always going to be a Cowboys fan, but I live in New England, and I will root for New England because we live there.
Yeah.
And what I do like about his, his way
demeanor?
he carries it. No, the way that he dresses. It's
we're
I'm dressed
talking
like
about
that
attire.
to watch
Okay.
football. I like it that a coach. Now I will tell you this.
come on.
I always liked in the old days in the 70s the fedora, the dress up, the tie. This is
Tom
business.
Landry. You're just Tom Landry right there.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Tom Landry.
I
Brian.
even know what he's talking about.
He looked professional. So I like that part. But I also can admire a guy that is worth millions of dollars that looks like he buys his clothes at Walmart.
Well, yeah, I know.
And is
but,
coaching
I mean,
$1 billion, $6 billion team.
Would you be allowed at a press conference with cameras all over you, looking like you've just been painting the living room all afternoon?
Painting in the living room.
Football coach? Heck yeah. Listen, man, when you're coaching football, you're nasty during a game, especially in a muddy game. I mean, you are nasty. You got mud slinging all over you, water slinging all over you. It's just filthy. So, yeah.
Times have changed.
I can't tell you how many times I've been out of practice at Spalding, in the morning when the sun is out and the grass is wet, and I come home like I jumped in the lake.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, the coaches of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s
Yeah, and even
would
80s.
would
Yep.
look at the way that these sideline coaches, I understand trying to bond with the team, so they're wearing the same apparel as they, but for me, it does create, like, there's no separation. Like,
Right.
there's no level of respect. If you're going to dress in the same stuff that I am, I think mentally it can make it but I know they respect Bill Belichick. I mean, he's got the
absolutely.
acumen over the last 20 years
I'm
to
saying
garnish the respect.
just hit the showers, pal. Just throw a nice shirt on. And
He could come up and coach in a kimono or whatever those things are on the side.
And his
a pair
press
of slippers.
conferences take like 2 minutes.
I
He
know.
doesn't say anything.
There's no,
Oh, he does. He
uh,
mumbles.
Yeah, there's no fluff. There's no
Yep.
fluff.
I would love to just smack him right across the face and say, "Pal, lighten up, bud. You just won the game."
I will say I love a Greg Popovich, Bill Belichick press conference.
Oh yeah, Pop was and he still is coaching. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the same way. They're hilarious,
NBA
sarcastic,
NBA coach.
dry.
Yep.
I absolutely, I'll watch those all day long.
Pop was the first one. Maybe he wasn't the first one. I'm going to say he was to bring a female on his coaching staff.
Yep.
Becky Hammonds years ago, who's the best coach in the WNBA. But there was a game where we all know he got kicked out on purpose. You got how many technicals he got, booted out of the game, handed his clipboard to Hammonds because he wanted to put the female was ready to take that next step.
Really?
So here's this 5'9", and here's all these giants, 6'8", 6'10", 7-footers looking down at her, and they interviewed all the players after the game, and they go, "Oh no, we shut up in the huddle. She had our respect," and that came from Coach Greg Popovich.
Wow.
Yeah, class act.
I like Pop, but I just do. I like listening to some guy say, "How do you feel about the speed coming out of Mac Jones's hands when he makes that throw, that that cross the body throw?" And Belichick says, "It's good." Like I like it. I love that, man. That's all I had to say.
He's a reporter's worst nightmare.
Right.
Oh, he is.
Right. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Do you have any thought about McCourty's show on this? And it comes on every Wednesday night at 7:00. No, like that. I think genius, man. So I love it.
You can never say that he ever gets misquoted.
And that is so
There
true.
you go.
You're exactly right.
Six
That's
syllables.
good. That's
He's
good.
got a hard 6-syllable max, and he does not exceed it.
The PR people for New England have quite a relaxing job when he steps to the podium. So, but
So
But,
Audrey,
yeah.
will you watch the first round?
I am going to try. I'm going to be honest with you. What night does the draft start?
Thursday the 27th, and it's
I
just
even-
round one.
I even knew that.
JD knows that.
I mean, what's that telling
gonna
you
be on a
about our
boat.
tree here?
Oh, that's
I-
right.
Should be.
I
Sam's
might.
got-
I'll peel over and watch it at the bar.
so-
I'll watch the first round, and I will watch probably the second round. I do not tune in day 3 for rounds 4 through 7, even though it's a lot faster. Because that first round, what do they get? 8 to 10 minutes between picks? 6 to 8?
Yeah.
It takes a long time.
Yeah.
It's too long, to be honest.
You do predict the picks, and they say, how long do you think the first round's going to last?
Well,
I'm
and
like,
it's
3 hours and 56
Sponsorships.
minutes.
Sponsorship money, all those commercials.
Absolutely. And it does take quite a while.
You
But
gotta
I
pay-
agree. Yeah, offensive line for the Steelers. What about the Cowboys? What's the number one need? I know where I'm going for the Cowboys. Not that they're going to listen to me, even though
Number
they should.
one need would be a kicker.
I agree.
DJ's
You
about
can
ready to hop over this desk
You
right
can-
now.
You can find kickers anywhere for about $48.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think I could.
I mean, we
both-
could have. You could.
I
We
would-
all could have.
I would like-
hit one of those.
I'm saying both of my meniscus are torn, and I think I could have made those. All 5 of them. I'm just
Now
saying.
you know what's going to happen
I'm
next.
just saying.
Your next show is going to be on a football field somewhere, and we're all going to be trying to kick the extra point.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Hey, Lori, have you ever seen that video of JD catching a football in a moving car?
Guess what, Autry? I saw it. I remembered it too, but I saw it Tuesday night. Him and I were at the studio for quite a while, and we called Frankie.
We called Frankie.
We called Frankie Allen. Did I get the
Yes,
last name?
yes,
See,
you did.
we called Frankie. We
know
talked
Frankie?
about the commercial. JD found it. We watched it a couple times. I went home, watched it again in his Jeremiah Trottier jersey. And I was like, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
You might remember it because I do remember it. I don't know how many takes that took, though.
Oh, so much fun.
He said, JD told me it was like 6 hours for the filming.
Yes, it was. But I would love to reenact something like. I'd love to bring Frankie back up here and all
He
of
has
us.
to wear the hat.
All of us do. Of course.
You know
so,
what we
Mike.
He
could
has
do?
a Cowboys helmet.
He has a
It's a
helmet
knitted
hat.
winter hat, but
It's
it looks
a
like a
fleece.
helmet.
It's a fleece winter hat
it's
that looks like
amazing.
a cowboy's helmet.
I mean, I might go out and try to find one.
What are you saying, Autry?
You know what we could do? We could do a relay throw where I throw the ball from North Carolina,
I love it.
and like Frankie catches it, or Lori.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
She throws it.
Oh, I picked
Frankie
JD to catch
and
it.
Frankie throws it to JD.
Poor DJ. He came in here tonight. He had no idea that he would be teamed up on from this short little fat guy here who doesn't know anything about sports.
All right, so I'll say I think Dallas is going to draft defense. I'm just not sure where. I'm not. I know that Parsons is Parsons defensive end. He's great,
Phenomenal.
He's amazing.
but
Outstanding.
they're either going to draft receiver,
I was going to say receiver.
or somebody on the
Somebody
defensive.
bet with me. That's not happening.
Whoa.
Do what?
It's not happening. No receiver for the Cowboys in the first round. Second round, yeah. Not first round. I feel very strongly about that, and God, am I going to have to take my 7.5 out of my mouth if it. Here's what I look at, and I've never said this in the 30 years I've watched the draft. Tight ends, I ignore them. I don't even look. I don't even read about them. Yes, there are 5, 6. No, there's like 7 tight ends that are better.
That are wide receiver numbers.
They're wide receiver numbers, and they're better than the first and second prospect at that position.
So you're going with tight end.
I am.
That's
Here's my
actually not
wild
a
card,
bad-
though. Bijan Robinson. Whoever drafts that young man has the best player in the draft. He's a running back out of Texas. He's outstanding.
You catching this, Autry?
1,200 yards 2 years ago, 1,600. He's going to run for 12 touchdowns a year rushing. He's going to catch 5 or 6 every year.
I don't even.
Autry is taking notes on the back of a pizza box right now.
But the Cowboys, again, don't need they do need a tight end. But who's it? Ferguson? Who's the backup that I like? But they like 2 tight ends as well.
You know,
The tight ends
they've
are
never
better than
been-
the receiver.
You know, I'm going back to like Jay Novacek days and stuff like they just never have overutilized. And when you look at the teams that are utilizing tight ends properly, I mean, New England did it forever.
Big time. Yeah,
Like,
2 tight ends.
They
Huge.
loved
Huge.
it. And why not?
Right.
6'7" guy coming across the middle at 260 pounds, with good hands.
Let me just say one thing.
Yeah.
2 things. Here's the top 5 tight ends I like, and here's their stature. Here's their height.
I love it.
6'5", 250. 6'7", 240. 6'7", 275. 6'5", 255, and 6'6", 250, and they can all catch.
Whoa.
And block. One of them really isn't a good blocker, and it's Kincaid, and that's the one I think the Cowboys might take. Not as he's a tight end, but I think they're going to use him as a big wide receiver.
They would have
They
to.
probably won't, though.
They would have to completely revise how they manage the game if they're going to get a tight end and utilize them properly because they haven't done it.
One of these guys could be Jason Witten, and I don't like to comp, but you always are going to compare.
Yeah.
One of these guys could be a Jason Witten. I will agree with Autry, though. When the dust settles in the first round, it'll go defense, I think, for the Cowboys. I really do.
Yeah.
Or the trenches. I don't know. Bijan Robinson, can you all remember that name? He will be the
I'll just remember
offensive
Dijon,
rookie of the year.
I'll just remember Dijon Mustard.
And if he goes to the Patriots, I'm going to be upset.
When you see these guys come out of college and they're just eating it. I watched Saquon Barkley out of was it Penn State? No, it was
Penn State.
It was Penn State.
You were right. Yep, Penn State.
I'm like, what a beast! And then
Yep.
the Giants got him, and I'm like, all right, I mean, but you look
Right.
at what he did in like the first couple of years, nothing. Like he was last
he's
year. He's
steady,
great.
but then the injuries.
Yeah, the injuries exactly.
And
that's
there's the
thing you can never
downside of
bank
the
on.
running backs is the injuries, the shelf life.
Yeah,
You know,
they got a short shelf life.
Shelf life.
Yeah, you know.
you
about
don't like
shelf
it
life.
when we say that. Remember, I said short shelf life. Put them out to
It's
pasture.
the short word.
JD does not like that.
He doesn't like the short word.
So I am with Autry. They'll settle on a defense or offensive lineman, but God, there's some tight ends I would love
In the
to
end,
see.
in the end, if they just can't get the offense firing, I mean, it hasn't mattered, quite frankly, if Dak has 3 seconds or 8 seconds. And, they're like, and I've been watching these things, look at the numbers that he has in compared to Peyton Manning through the same span and this and that. In the end, as a lover of a professional sports team, if you strip it all down to the bare metal, I just want you to win. I just want you to win. And if you can't pull he's not I don't feel he's a quality team leader. I don't think he
you're
has
not
the
a big
team's
fan of his, are you?
respect like he could. I just
So it's not like a Peyton Manning, Tom Brady.
no somebody
I
that
probably
when they
shouldn't
pull
go
into
that
the,
far with it.
Yeah,
but
but
a
you
true
pull
leader.
in the huddle and he is not the guy that
does he
I want.
command respect in the huddle? Does he?
I don't know that he does.
Okay.
I don't know that he does. And he's not the guy that if you're down a touchdown or 10 points going into the fourth quarter, that you have a team that's looking at you that you're going to pull the nose up on the airplane. Like I just don't feel that he had. And then, you get to those points and then he has a stupid throw or a pick six or, you're going third and short and he fumbles it or he tries to run it himself and gets sacked or, I don't.
Kind of like Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Right.
Okay,
$40 million a year. Yeah.
I have not looked at the ESPN article about wage team needs. I haven't done that yet until just now. I'm looking at the Cowboys, and here's their list, and it's not making up. Tight end is number one, so Lori's right.
Yeah.
Running back is running back. Even though they got Tony Pollard, cornerback, linebacker, defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Everywhere on the O-line is what ESPN says. And then finally, a kicker.
He's going to say
Not making this up.
kickers listed
I-
for no other team but them.
If any NFL team ever picks a kicker in the first round, I will tell you who's going to finish like two and
And lose your job at the same time.
Yeah.
In a year, I mean, or that night. I don't know. Who does that?
you would better
that?
be able to kick 70-yarders every single time.
Do you like Brandon Cooks? I think a lot of the teams did better in trades than they did in free agency.
Yeah.
It's a fifth-round pick you gave up.
Yeah.
He's going to stretch the field.
We'll
No
see.
matter what I say, you're going to go, I don't know.
No, we'll just see. No,
I know,
it
because
it stinks because
you get so frustrated with
it's hard
Dak.
to watch, right? Because if you can't, for the last 5 years for me, watching the Dallas Cowboys is just waiting for everything to feel like it runs smoothly. You get somebody, I'm like, all right, we filled that spot, and then somewhere else screws up, and then all right, you might get 1 or 2 games of balance where like, all right, here we go, and then 4 turnovers, 2 pick sixes, and wah wah wah,
I do have a question for you. Do you think Kellen Moore was the problem?
I think
And is
a lot of it was.
McCarthy the play caller now?
I can't stand McCarthy either. See, that's the other thing too. I also don't care for. I've never been a McCarthy fan,
Okay.
so no, I don't think Kellen Moore was the problem. You also have to have execution, and there's always going to be someone that's to blame when a team doesn't do well. But you also have to hold the multi-million-dollar players accountable when they don't execute what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
And
that's very well said.
That's the problem.
Yep.
That we can't blame the guy that we're paying $28 million a year, so we're gonna kick you. Well, look at the numbers. I mean, you can't be the coordinator, you can't be the coach, and then be expected to execute the plays yourselves. You pay these
go out there
guys
and do it for
exorbitant amounts of money. They're at the top peak of their physicality. You can't get trained. All you do is eat, sleep, football.
Yeah.
and you can't do simple things, or you can't get along as because you have to have cohesiveness as a team. And everybody has to feel that they can win. And if you only got a couple guys that feel that they can win and the rest of them are like, all right, well, we're just here and I'm making my $1 million. And I'm sorry, I have to say, New England had that for years. Because when New England was in their prime, they took that field every single game and knew that they were going to win. They knew it. And if they lost a game,
no matter what the score at halftime,
it did not matter what that score was. They knew that they had the guy under center that was going to lead them through it. And Tom Brady showed time and time again that he was going to take care of business. And if you don't have that kind of leadership on the field, you're like, okay, maybe, and you hope for something to go wrong. You hope that you get a fumble recovery or something. And you guys, all right, we can capitalize on that. But it is about leadership. And I'm not talking about on the sidelines. It's on the field. Yeah. And to me, Dak is not a leader.
Well, all you have to do is look at who won the Super Bowl again. And you look at the coach and you look at the quarterback, especially the coach, too.
Yeah.
So.
I want to start a little gossip before the show ends. And this is opinion, straight up opinion, but
then it's not gossip.
All right, so all right, conspiracy.
There we go. I'm good with that.
All right, Green Bay has the 15th pick in the first round. I'm wondering if Green Bay is doing one or two things. Either one, are they holding out Aaron Rodgers for New York's draft pick and dumping Aaron Rodgers to New York then, or are they holding Aaron Rodgers to trade him to Carolina or Houston in exchange for their draft pick? I have a tendency to think that's what Green Bay's doing. They're doing one of those two.
Really?
Well, why won't they get rid of Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know what the holdup is there. I really don't. They keep saying he is going to the Jets, but it'll be after the draft, which I'm like, oh, okay, so everybody holds their draft picks for this year, and then we use the compensation next year. I don't think if Green Bay is indeed asking for the Jets' first-round pick this year, the Jets are not going to give it to them. There's no way.
Jordan Love is not that spectacular.
No, he's not.
Aaron Rodgers still has game left. And if I'm Green Bay and I'm infuriated with Aaron Rodgers and all of his drama, I would be tempted to call Charlotte and get the Panthers on the phone and say, listen, I'll send you Aaron Rodgers and we want the number 1 draft pick. And I'd go get Bryce Young. And then you've got it because he's going to be a Patrick Mahomes-esque QB. I mean, I think he's a mixture of Drew Brees and Patrick Mahomes wrapped into one.
I could not agree with you more about Bryce Young. I could not agree with you more.
And then,
love it.
Then worst case scenario, DJ Stroud's going to Houston.
Yep.
So if they say no, he's going to call Houston. And I wouldn't blame him for it. I think Aaron Rodgers hung him on a string. He messed him up last year by not working with these receivers in the offseason.
Yep. And not working, period.
How old is he now? Where's he
39, 40?
Is he 38?
38?
38. Yeah.
Okay, 38.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Couple good years left.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean,
there's not a lot that can play into their 40s
he's
like
never
Drew Brees and Tom Brady.
He still has a cannon, I will tell you that. But he has never had mobility.
Okay, hypothetically, your scenario, I love it. I love the Bryce Young to the Packers. That would be fabulous. But if they do that to Aaron Rodgers, he's just going to retire. He's going to play that card because I'm sorry. He's such a, I hate using this term, but he's a prima donna.
I was just going to say.
He's such a prima donna.
Yes.
And I agree with you, Autry. He's just strung him along last year. Half the time it didn't even look like he was really putting forth effort. He wasn't doing what he did in the past.
No.
He was just like, I'm here. Time to go to the hot tub. Game's over.
Yeah.
It would be intriguing. I just think he would just turn around and then retire.
Well, and watching the way that it unfolded last year with him as well, every NFL coach watched that too. So it's like, all right, so that's how you're going to this place, Green Bay's put him on a pedestal. And
Absolutely.
He's been there, and that's how you're going to roll?
Yeah.
I think, to go with the prima donna, that maybe he thinks his stock's a little too highly valued, and I think after watching how he did things last year, I don't know. Everybody watches that
Well,
stuff.
my only disagreement with that is the NFL teams overlook prima donnas all the time.
That's
Odell time with Baltimore.
I know.
You know
Well,
what I
look
mean?
at the
What did he
money.
get? What did he get?
15, I think, is guaranteed.
Was that
Yep,
the
that's-
text I
yep,
sent you?
Yep. 18, but 15 million of it's guaranteed, and he's had 2 torn ACLs. And I'm like, I don't know if that was more let's bring Odell in or let's get Odell for Lamar. I mean, I don't know. But they made everybody happy in Baltimore.
I think they're trying to lure Lamar, but
Right.
But I'm telling you, I think if I am Houston or Carolina, it would be a plan B I would think about. I'd put some thought to it. If I'm any team anywhere in that first round, those first round picks, the Atlanta Falcons is a great example of a team that needs a QB.
Absolutely.
Ritter,
Absolutely.
don't know what Ritter's going to look like. The
Right.
Bears have a QB, but everybody's somewhat trading. Which I love Justin Fields, man. I think he's phenomenal.
So don't I. So it was good that Chicago stayed with him and then traded the pick. Which, did you see what they got for that pick? For Carolina, moving from 9 to 1, it was, they swapped positions this year. Chicago got a second round, got DJ Moore, who's a very good receiver.
I like DJ Moore.
Yeah.
And then got
Because it's a DJ.
Carolina's first and second round next year.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's a lot of picks. Woo-hoo-hoo. And can I ask you this, Autry? If you're drafting for the Carolina Panthers, I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Who do you pick, C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young?
I think you pick Bryce Young.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
think
Absolutely.
In my mind, there's a little bit of
Wish I had pom poms.
there's a little bit of scrutiny in my mind about C.J. Stroud. I just feel like there's something. I think he might have a good first year, really bad second year. But Bryce Young, when you watch him play for Bama, and he makes plays when there's no play, which is what Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes does.
Yep.
And I just have a tendency to think, man, if it just seems like the logical pick to make.
It's so funny that the knock on him for this whole process of the draft is his height. It's his height. Because C.J. Stroud stands at 6'3", and Young's at 5'11".
Yeah.
But above the shoulders, and I'm not taking anything away from C.J. Stroud, above the shoulders, looking at the pocket presence, looking at how he dissects the field, going from one progression to the other, and making things happen, and not panicking in the pocket. Again, pocket presence. I just think this kid's outstanding.
Yeah.
Like you've just been saying.
Yeah, I think there's just too much of an upside.
Absolutely.
And he's had NFL coordinators, so I think he's got a little bit of advantage. And when I read about oh gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. Gosh,
I do that all the time.
Yeah, it's like the Cowboys right about halftime in a game.
Wow. Out of nowhere.
I was like, whew.
Out of nowhere.
All day. Yeah, I'll keep moving. I forget which way I'm going with it, but
I always watch these things, with coming to the transition from college to NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And, how sometimes you've seen these guys, they get drafted in the first round very high, and then they're like 2 seasons and they're a backup quarterback for the rest of their life. I think it's imperative that when these guys transition from the college game to the NFL game, that you've got the right coaching around them. And if you got somebody that doesn't put the time in, because there is a transition. It is not the same game.
Oh, it's not.
It's just not the same game.
Physicality.
And you have to have the right people around these guys. I mean, they're still young minds. You got to play. You were the big man on campus, when you were at college, and everybody loves you. And now you're in the NFL, and you got a whole team full of big guys, and everybody's
You're just
there.
a minnow in a
elite.
huge pond now.
Right? And you have got to have the right mindset and the right coaching staff around you, because there have been dozens of killer guys coming out of college that didn't do shit quite frankly, when they get to the NFL. And it's a lot about the coaching. And there's so many analysts now. It's not even a coach. They got 3 or 4 people looking at metrics.
Yeah, right.
You know,
the
and then they're
analytical
just feeding
side
them
of
back.
this and the metrics
Right,
on
they're
this
feeding them
and
back,
and the combine. They feed off the combine. I'm like, really?
I've never understood that in my entire life.
Me either. Love
understood
football.
that.
Don't like a combine at all. But that's a valid point. So then you look at the Panthers. Frank Reich, head coach, good coach. I mean, a good quarterback, good backup, and Josh McCown is the quarterback coach. I like whoever lands with the Panthers. I think they're landing in a good spot, really based on what you're talking about.
You just
You've
got to have that. And well, I mean, I would go way back. I remember this probably one of the few times I ever watched. And then Ryan Leaf.
I am not kidding you. I'm in my head. I'm always going to say Ryan Leaf.
Thing, like he was going to be the next heir apparent. Did he make it? How many years? It wasn't even.
I mean, he might have stuck for 2 or 3 years, but he was number one. He was a head case because remember he imploded in the locker room. The team had wanted nothing to do with him.
Yep.
He just spiraled.
Right. And I think it is. I think they look more at the game now from a mental aspect to mentally preparing them because
That's huge.
You played in front of college crowds and you may have played in games that were nationally televised. You didn't play on a team that was worth $6 billion,
right.
And everybody here pulls up in a $1 million car and they get they're practicing in $60,000 jewelry,
Right. Oh,
it's
that's
a different
for sure.
It's a different level, so
it is a different level. You're right.
I never really watch just because it's a crapshoot. You want your team to land somebody good, and then I start doing the research. Then, all right, where'd this guy come from? How was he? What did he look like? And I am a character.
I call it the stock market because they go to the combine and this Anthony Richardson from Florida quarterback who will go in the top 5. Mm-hmm. He's only started 1 year. A lot to learn. They keep calling him raw. He's raw. He's got a lot to learn. But athletically, at the combine, he was off the charts. He ran a 4.3, 40-yard, whatever. The cone drill, and I'm like, so now you're going to draft someone and give him that big-time money, that rookie contract in the top 5. And you've already said he's raw. You've already said he might not have the pocket presence, but we'll teach him, which they will, maybe. But because he's athletically gifted, I will always say it's what's above the shoulder.
It's based off of the hamster wheel. So
Tom
you
Brady
run on the hamster wheel. That's the combine. You're on the hamster wheel, and that's the other part.
And let's not forget, Tom Brady was drafted in
180.
The sixth round.
199.
And we're talking about the first round being drafted in the first 3 picks, and it will be probably all quarterbacks. Yeah. And
Audrey,
the one that can make it is young, right out of the chute.
Do you think that Lori Shepherd will have enough material to talk about if she were to start her own podcast?
I think she should not only do it, but I think she could make that show last for years.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I'm serious.
Sports is there's always something to talk about with sports.
Yeah, because there's always something going on.
Yeah.
I'll get a text from this guy, and it's like, oh, my God, really? He just left the Cowboys? I think we were talking about Dalton Schultz the last time we texted each other. There's always something.
There's
always something going on.
And look at the high school and hockey sports here in Barrie.
Yep. Barrie, Montpelier, usually too, but yes.
I've often thought, and it's something I'm contemplating here, if I can build enough relationships over time, but there needs to be a high school sports podcast where coaches want to talk about their games every week.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And because I get really frustrated with parents or spectators who question calls that we make and substitutions you put in. And I think to give a high school coach the platform to be able to say, man, we played 3 games this week. We won 2 out of the 3. Here, on Monday night we beat Linden Institute by 4.
Right.
And tell me about the second quarter you played, this kind of offense, whatever. Yep. And to give them a chance to talk about it, so people can think and listen and understand, but also to give credit to those players for playing.
Put the players in the spotlight because they deserve it. Those 4 years go by so fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then get a coach in here and
Give
say,
him a
so what
microphone.
adjustment did you make at halftime? Because that's the best part of the game.
Absolutely.
Best part of the game.
And
Or-
it is
or to be-
especially
For a coach to be able to say, "Yeah, I made a mistake in the second half,"
Oh, I would say that.
yeah, I
Like,
think it would. I think it just it goes over well with credibility. It calms people down for a coach to be able to say, because I've done it in coaching.
Yeah.
I made a huge mistake, not this basketball season, the last basketball season in the championship game, and to this day I think, okay, I'm not doing it, and I would love to be able to say that
Yep.
as a parent.
I agree with you. Yep.
I would also
I-
like to be able to say that it's a mistake that your kid is playing. No, I'm just kidding. Well, because parents for me. So I stopped coaching when my kids got to the high school level. I stopped coaching my kids, and it was parents interact a lot more. Like your parents in the old days would cheer.
Be careful. Tanya McCauley's watching
That's fine.
and listening. Right?
That's fine, and she'll agree with me. Parents would cheer for their kids. Yes, sometimes they're going to be bad calls. Yes, a coach is going to make a bad decision sometimes.
No, we make
but
mistakes. Yep.
none of these kids, unless they're 1 in 3.5 million, are going on to play professionally. And most of the parents have never coached at any level. They're upset that something went wrong. And
It's a learning
more
opportunity.
vocal.
Yeah.
It's more vocal
Mold
now.
you for
I watched
life.
our big
is.
rival was People's, like when we were playing People's Academy, and the parents at times would be, for me at high school level, like my mom's like 5 foot tall, and she's sitting over there just like scrunched down, and they're all just verbally bashing. These are high school kids. Let them play.
Let them play the
You know,
game.
Right.
It's gotten way worse
Sure.
now, and to have a coach to be able to, you know what?
Reel it in.
Yeah, but you can't. It's a horrible balance that I've watched Tanya and Shep do. Like you got to be the coach, and you got to be professional, but you also you can't really do crowd management when you're also
balancing
trying to
act,
do
yeah.
the kids. You have to rely on parents to be parents.
Yeah.
and keep their mouths shut.
That's
Let
right.
the coaches coach. You want to yell at your kid when you get home, that's fine. And it's
Wow.
why
Well
we're
said.
in a spot
Yeah, I
where
agree.
you can't get coaches.
Right.
You can't get
or
coaches.
refs.
You can't get coaches. You
Boom.
can't get refs. Refs are harder to get than coaches.
I know.
We
I
had
even know that.
officials doing JV and varsity games due to the shortage this past basketball season. And God bless them for stepping out there, doing a JV game. They could be grooming someone that's learning because they're trying to, they need to. They need to get them on the schedule.
But the
change,
parents need
come
to
out
be
and do-
respectful
Yeah.
to the
The
refs.
parents verbally
Officiate, yep.
abuse the officiants.
Yes.
They verbally abuse the coaches, and most of them have no effing clue what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I will never, and
Right.
I've been around sports my whole life, a coach for over 20 years. I will always respect the officials. Yes, there are games in the heat of the battle where you're like,
Right.
I mean,
But
you've
you have
seen
that
me do
moment.
this.
Oh, yeah. But you have that moment, and you're like, ugh, and then, but you have to go in your head like,
Respect them
okay,
so
they're gonna
much.
they're gonna get the next one.
Go home and tell your partner that the ref had his head in his ass. don't yell it out to in front of the
Right.
crowd.
I don't know where it's going
those
to go.
officials bust their tails.
Yeah.
And they travel all
Everywhere.
over the state for fucking peanuts.
Yes, of course.
Peanuts.
In,
And they have to
in
be-
snowstorms.
And then get verbally abused and know that they're going to get verbally abused when they get there so they can officiate a game so your kid can be there so you can yell at them.
Oh, we're going to get some officials in here, too. That's what we're going to
It's-
get in here.
It's
Yep.
going to be hard to find.
Oh, I can think
she'll
of
do it.
three I
know
can
that,
get
but it's
in
just
here.
it's crazy to watch the game in the old days. Like people used to line up to be coaches and to be officiants because they loved the game because they played it themselves.
Sure.
Yep.
And as the years have gone on, there's fewer and fewer coaches. There are way fewer refs in any level, not just high school, but we play adult ball. You can't
Yep.
get anybody there. It's
Yep.
even worse as adults.
Yep.
Imagine adults yelling at, you're playing on a team as an adult and you're yelling at, listen, you're not a professional. You've had 6 blackberry wheats. Shut your mouth. You're here for a night out. That's all there is.
I like
none
that
of
you
you.
picked-
That's a dig.
Yeah, I like
Like
that you
that I
picked
picked
blackberry
blackberry
wheat.
wheat. Yeah.
That was
That was my go-to.
amazing.
It's a
That was
great-
amazing.
it's a
For
great
years,
beer.
I would
It
bring
is.
a 12-pack of blackberry wheat when I would play. But it's to watch
Yeah.
adults at it's like I have loved the game my entire life. It's where I've got my best friends The
Yep.
best moments of my life have been on that diamond. And, watching not just baseball, but football or anything else now, you can't get coaches because nobody wants to come to get verbally abused for $35
Sure.
or whatever. I don't know what the number is, but it's, and these parents, and they're waiting for them after. It's like, let's understand something. Your kid's not a professional. We are here to officiate the game, and we're going to do the best that we can. And what I'd like them to say...
To set examples for
Right.
our kids.
Right.
Absolutely.
And to teach them some life lessons here.
Yep.
as they put their kid in, and then they
Yep.
pop a beer as they're driving their kids home, or whatever. It's like... it bothers me to see, and I don't know where it's going to be in 10 years, honestly. Just watching, especially...
Look at what's happened in the last 10 years.
Autrey,
And
are
you're
you
right.
nodding your head? Are you
Right.
nodding your head?
I'm in 100% agreement. And I would, if I'm Lori, I would on a regular basis. Lori, I'd get some officials on your podcast.
100%.
Yep. It literally I'm like, that's happening. We're getting the officials in here.
Just to have like a tell-all. You know what I mean? What's
Yep.
that one thing? What's one thing, or 4 things you wish you could say to a parent in the middle of a game who's yelling at you? Or,
Oh, I get it.
what's the worst thing you've ever heard coaches in our
Yeah.
state say
Right.
to you?
Right.
And
Right.
I think I'd tune in for that in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
You
Chris,
got it.
I-
You
I-
got it.
Chris, I got to tell you, I've been in the bathroom for most of this tonight with diarrhea. Have you guys been talking about the NFL draft at all, or did I miss all that?
Oh, my God, you're funny.
But there's no, but I mean, when we start talking about the Cowboys, there's just not that much to talk about. So
Wow.
we
I don't even know what to
Listen,
say.
I'm gonna close out with Mr. Autry by saying this.
Hold on. Now that...
Oh, yeah, now.
Yeah, put that on.
I am
Put that
gonna
on.
Put this on. All right.
At some point here in the very near future, I know that Chris Autry is going to be asking me for Lori Shepard's phone number, or that Lori is going to be asking me for Chris Autry's
Absolutely.
phone number.
Phone a friend.
I need to make a decision what I'm going to sell these phone numbers for, and I'm hovering somewhere right around $500. If you want to split it with me, we can do that, DJ.
Yeah.
But at some point they're going to want to talk to each other without me around, and they're going to need to be connected by phone.
I was thinking he is my phone a friend on a podcast or a pod.
Only if I give
Aren't
you
we
his phone
supposed
number.
to call it pod, not podcast?
No,
I'm
you can
confused.
Call it
All right.
anything you want.
Well, you told me the other night.
Just a
Call
pod.
it pod.
You got a pod.
anytime, Lori, you call me anytime. We don't need JD.
Oh, I will.
She can't call you because she doesn't know your phone number. She's not going to know it unless I give it to her.
I believe Raylene will give it to me.
Ray, we'll give it to you. Rayleigh, we'll give it to you for
His
free.
podcast is going to go live, or is live,
Yeah.
and it's going to be put out again. You could just say the number right now, and it'd be there
Yeah.
for perpetuity.
I
No,
can dump his mic right now.
Here's the thing. I know JD will give it to me.
I'm running the controls over here, all right?
From the bathroom.
From the bathroom.
Yeah. Dork.
Love you, pal.
love you, buddy.
Love you, dear.
I can't wait for you guys to
Go
to
Cowboys.
meet.
I can't wait to sit down and have dinner with that man.
Where is he from?
It's North Carolina,
He's in North Carolina.
Yeah.
but he's been up
Yep.
here for a long time here in Central
So he's
Vermont.
originally from North Carolina. He's here now. He's living here now.
No,
No.
he has been up here for
But originally he's in North Carolina,
Yes.
right? Came
And-
to Vermont.
been up here for a long time.
Tar Heels.
Pastor,
Yeah.
yes, Tar Heels. Pastor at the Faith Community Church,
Yep.
just down the road, and now is back in North Carolina as a pastor at a huge church down there. So,
And another
Fayetteville.
one. You just hit it
Fayetteville.
off with him immediately.
Oh yeah,
So fun to talk to.
yeah. Just don't ever tell him that you put maple syrup in your barbecue sauce. Don't.
Oh, my God, don't.
Don't do that.
Don't tell him that.
No.
Whew, I sat here
Don't-
and went, what's
don't do it.
happening right now?
Don't do
What,
it.
he lost
You
it.
thought you were beat up over the Cowboys? That's nothing.
Because he is
Nothing.
the
Yeah.
kingpin of barbecues.
Yeah, there's
But you
South
don't put-
Carolina
you
and
don't
North
put
Carolina
syrup in
barbecue
it.
sauces. You never put maple
Yep.
syrup.
You know why? Because they don't have syrup down there.
That's true. They have Aunt Jemima.
That's true, but
Got Aunt Jemima.
he's very vehement about you don't put syrup
Yeah,
in the barbecue.
Yeah,
sauce.
he's I'm with DJ.
Yeah, they don't have
frowning.
syrup down there. They have corn syrup.
Yeah.
And that's it.
But when he's up, we're gonna do another bake-off then, a barbecue one. I want to be around
We're
this
gonna
one.
do something.
Yep.
When Autry's in town,
Absolutely.
look out.
And
We're
we're
all
gonna get
going
we're
out.
gonna get Frankie in here someday too.
That's you got.
Frankie,
I'm telling you right now.
Frankie
Frankie's
and
awesome.
DJ.
If you're
Frankie's fun.
if you're doing a sports podcast, that has to happen.
He already
Frankie's fun.
agreed to August, and we can do it before that, obviously, but he agreed to August for fantasy football.
All right.
So he agreed to that one.
All right.
Yep.
I was going to wear my aired out hat tonight.
That's right. You do have one of those.
And I have the heaviest
I don't
sweatshirt.
have one.
You're gonna get one, Shep.
The
Just
heaviest
relax.
sweatshirt that I have
Just
in
relax.
my closet is from here. It weighs 60 pounds.
Oh, I have the same one.
The hoodie?
I love it.
It's the heaviest article of clothing that I own,
So you
including
can go
my
out in
Carhartts,
negative 20-degree weather with it, right?
without a shirt on underneath.
Absolutely.
It
And
is stupid.
he would wear shorts if it was 20 below.
He would.
What is going on, Lori, with this guy?
I mean, we both have shorts on, but yes, DJ, well, you
20
are
below,
short.
he's wearing shorts.
Yeah.
And sneakers.
That's because he's got nice legs, too, though.
So
Nice legs.
what I want to ask you about the the Red Sox. I mean, Jack was in here the other day, just saying it like
Is
this.
he a Red Sox fan? Or
See,
is
all
he...
I said was Red Sox, and look at the sigh. They're off to a shitty start.
Yeah,
bud.
you know what? But that's what happens.
That's a tough division,
That's the
though.
best part when you have
Holy
162 games to play. You can
This is true. Because
Pull
what are
your-
we, 2.5 weeks in?
yeah. And the
hundreds-
Rays
it's
are
a lot of
13-0. They just got their asses handed to them for four games straight.
Listen,
Oh, I thought
I
you meant the Rays. I was like, no, they didn't. Yeah.
I don't know anything
Yeah.
about sports. You know that. But during the Grapefruit League, when they were introducing the pitch clock, there was a situation. I can't remember who the teams were. Shep might remember.
I don't, because you're the one that told me the story. So how can I not?
Talking
and I
about
still
these
can't-
steals.
There
What are you
were
talking about?
two teams that they were tied up, bases loaded, bottom of the ninth.
Yeah, he told me the
Oh,
story.
and he missed up the pitch count, or is the pitch clock?
He
He
missed
screwed
the
pitch
up
clock,
clock, yes.
and the game was
Game was over.
The game
was
over.
over.
And I don't remember who
Now,
it was.
you told me that. That was a great story, too.
That was during Grapefruit League. That
Yeah.
hasn't happened yet during the
Well, they're
season.
going
Has
to
not
have
but
yet.
it's good.
You're right.
It's
They're going to
good.
have a run on
Stolen bases
higher
are
stolen
up.
bases are
Yep.
jacked. Right?
Stolen bases are,
I mean,
jacked.
it's not
Jacked
even-
is the word.
it's not even right.
Batting average is up.
Well, I think the first game of the season there were a lot of stolen bases.
Do you like not having this allowed to have the shift on?
No, I don't.
Thank you so
I do
much.
not.
What's that?
It's part. That's part of the
Strategy, strategically.
game. Strategery, as former President George Bush would say.
So like a left-handed batter that pulls it. So you
He's a
take,
dead pull.
Yeah, he's a dead pull, and you'll take short and third, and you'll kind of shift them over to second or right behind second. You can't do that anymore. Strategically, you should be allowed to do that. Make that hitter go the opposite way.
This pitch
Like
clock
this
is
guy
supposed to
can
be
do
it's
as a
supposed to be
hitter.
shaven off. I think I think the average is like 40 minutes plus per game.
Right.
Yeah, they're around.
The players need to adjust. The pitchers obviously need to adjust. The broadcasters need to adjust.
Absolutely.
Right.
How do you think this is going to go forward here with Major League Baseball?
I mean, I understand them wanting to speed up the game. I actually read something today that was talking about so now all of the stadiums are going to have to make adjustments, possibly, on how they distribute alcohol.
I knew you were going to just say
Because
Everything.
it was they used to stop in the 7th inning. Now they're going to have to stop in the 6th inning.
Oh my!
You know, it's just the craziest thing because they're speeding the game up.
Right. Right.
Oh my God!
I'm fine with it. You know, I'm fine with the bigger bases. You know, whatever.
I do like that one
I think
a
it
lot.
makes a
Bigger
difference. I
bases.
mean, you're
15 to 18,
paying
yep.
millions of dollars for these guys and a little bit of extra square inches where
That's
they could
perfect.
maybe
Yep.
not get hurt. That's sure.
Yep, perfect.
I do not like the fact that you can't shift because I believe that's
Right.
an integrity. That's a part of the game that should be able to remain intact. It's
100%.
the bases. That's an adjustment for injuries or whatnot.
Absolutely.
Speeding the game up. Okay, pitcher still has the pitch, batter still has the bat. Not being able to play your defense the way that you want,
Right.
Based on the way a player hits and they do their research on, this guy likes fastballs inside. This guy, well, they know this guy's a dead pull hitter pretty much.
Yeah.
We can shift over that way and play the odds. Nope, you can't do that. That's
exactly
the one thing that they've done that's really grind my gears.
I'm glad I asked.
I knew an old
'cause
lady
it bothers me too.
Yeah.
I knew an old lady that would sit out in the carport on a summer night and just sip a drink, nice and slow, no rush. Got the AM radio on.
Yeah, I was going to say the
Look.
radio's on.
Crackle of Joe Castiglione's voice.
Oh God.
Just enjoying a summer night. There's no
Nothing better
rush.
than that. There's nothing better
There's
than what
nothing
you
better
just
than that.
described.
Yeah.
There's no rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in your car. You're doing a road trip.
Yep.
You got the AM radio on.
Love
You're listening to a game.
Mm-hmm.
There's no rush.
Yeah. I don't know.
But we have a younger demographic with a shorter attention span.
Very true.
If they're on the couch at home and they're watching the game on the TV, let's get things going here. Let's find out who won. I don't want to stay up till 11 o'clock tonight. Let's get this game underway.
Yeah.
I do wonder what that's also going to do for the sponsors and the the people that are part of the game.
Very important
how is that going
sponsors.
to play
Exactly.
into? Well, that means we get one less commercial per game based on our contract. I mean, there's all these
That's a
metrics
great
that they have
point.
for that crap too.
I never even thought of that.
Yeah, that's a great
spots,
point. That is
it's
a
like-
It's all,
now there's more
phenomenal
it's all
limited
point.
got to fit
spots.
into the pizza pie.
Absolutely.
Right.
Gotta have your sponsors.
I always
Very
loved
important.
listening to a game. I almost rather listen to it than watch it. Now I do like to watch it, but you're at it Kate goes to bed early. I sit up and I watch my Red Sox.
Wow.
But how many of us grew up watching our parents listen to it?
Yes.
And you're just described something, and I was like, you almost go back. You're like mesmerized. You mesmerized me for about 10 seconds there, JD.
Yep.
Yep, you did. And I was like, wow, those were the good old days.
Yeah. There was no rush.
No.
Yep.
Sitting on a front porch, slowly sipping your drink.
15, 20
Radio
seconds
on.
of just crowd ambiance.
Right.
Yep.
No rush.
Yep.
There's no rush.
That was almost as good as Wabi describing coffee. I think you did a hell of a job.
Wabi was pretty good. Wabi
I
described
put you
the
right
coffee.
there, JD. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, pat yourself on the back for that. One.
Speaking of Wabi, at some point we're going to get all of us hooligans in here. We'll probably get
Hooligans.
arrested.
Yep.
But with your podcast, which is going to be launching soon,
Yep.
obviously you're going to have a lot of guests on. DJ will be probably a regular.
Yeah, he's going to be my. You need to get here now, DJ.
You may need to put him on the
I could
payroll.
be.
Yep.
I could be your Robin Quivers, and you could be Howard Stern.
Oh my God, that's fabulous! I don't know if I can pull off Howard Stern, but I'll try.
You may have to throw him a couple of greens just
Absolutely. I have a therapist coming in here on Monday that's going to be my Stefania Bell. Do you ever watch Fantasy Football Live on ESPN on Sunday mornings?
No.
She is the she's a physical therapist. So they brought her on to talk about the injury side. So you have Dak Prescott on your team. Well, this injury is going to hold him out for 2 to 4 weeks. 5 years later, she's like one of the best fantasy football gurus.
Oh, no
You know,
kidding.
going beyond the
I did not
injuries.
know that.
Way beyond the injuries.
What's this for?
Let's plug it.
Huh?
Let's plug it. Let's plug it. Tell
That's
Shep
the
about
book
it.
I got to read.
Tell
I
Shep.
should-
Tell Shep about.
You
that.
know, I have 4 of these.
I know you do.
Okay.
So I should get it from you then?
Please.
No,
please,
I've got no.
Please
I'll
tell
get,
Shep. Please.
So, Eric Gray, how would it start? So Eric Gray wrote a book prior to this one, and
Which he has that.
Yeah.
too.
I had one, but it's
Yeah,
gone.
you did.
Um,
I didn't take it, I promise.
Jack's reading it.
my very good friend Bill Hedberg, who'd been my financial advisor since I was in my 20s, wrote a story, and it was in this book. And he knew the story that I had about my mom. And Eric reached out. Bill reached out to first tell me about the book, and I got Eric's first book, and I thought it was great because it's a book written from the fan's perspective of a game. And it could be about special moments or big moments in a game or, just being there with your family or your dad or your first game or, you caught a foul ball,
First beer.
First beer. Yeah, could be any of those things, And for me, I mean, I actually had 2 stories, and I only gave them the one about my mom, but, we won state championships here in Barrie 3 out of 4 years. So we won it. I won it my last year of Little League, and then won it in 13, 14 Babe Ruth.
Okay.
And
Love it.
I was always an odd kid out because, my dad didn't come, my mom did. So I was not a coach's son or anything. So my entry to get onto a field here, because back then there were 6 Little League teams. Now I think they struggle to get 1 or 2.
Right.
I batted 9th and played right field. But I was on the field. I didn't care.
Absolutely.
And I played well enough to make the All-Star team my last year. And Denny Barney was a coach.
That
Oh
name.
my God.
David Lowe, David Blow, Roger. Oh crap! I can't remember his name. But anyways, it was a lot of Barrie kids, and there was a few of us from Williamstown. We got to play, and we battled back playing. So we in the finals at Bennington and Brattleboro, I believe. In Bennington, we were going to lose light, and we were playing. It was when Barrie Townsfield was still good.
Okay.
And we were losing light, and we were down 2 runs, and I got the steal sign. And we had a guy on third, passed ball, guy on third scores, and I'm on first. I run to second, the guy overthrows it
Overthrow
at second.
second?
I book it to third, it tips off the guy's glove, and I book it home, I slide in, I tie up the game, they call the game for darkness. So we tied the game up on
Wow.
that. So we tied the game up on that play. And then we came back the next day and won that, and that put us in the finals. So here I am, and back then they'd play the Little League on the radio. And I had all the
There's
tapes.
the radio again.
I had all the tapes. My mom recorded every single game, and I
course
can
she
still hear
did.
Jimmy Heath saying, "No batter, can't hit." Like you can hear all
Right.
of it back then,
You hear the background noise.
Yep.
Yep. Love
So-
it.
You
Love
talking
it.
about like cassette tapes?
Yes, I'm talking about like cassette tapes.
I've never seen one, so I don't know. What
Yeah.
it's
They're these
way,
cute
Right.
little things.
Those
that
way before my time.
Unfortunately, all got destroyed. So we are in. It is the final game. We are up 1 run, and I am playing in my ceremonious right field, and I am literally praying. I want this ball. I want to end this game. We're winning this game. I want it hit to me. I don't want it hit to anybody else. And it was their number 4 batter, and he fouled it
my God,
off down the
clean up.
first base line.
And you still wanted it. Yeah. Okay.
And he fouled it off
Okay.
down the first base line.
So it's coming your way.
Nope, it's trailing foul. And I'm like,
Right,
I think I
right.
can get to that. And I'm booking it. Run. I get to the fence. I lean like this. I put my glove out. I swear to you, in front of our home, and I catch that thing, and I pull my feet back on, and I put it up like that, and game over. We're state champs. My favorite
my
moment.
God,
it
that's
was
fabulous.
It was freaking awesome.
That
Never heard this
Yeah.
story?
no, I don't think I've heard that
That was
one.
Unbelievable.
I've heard some Little League stories, but I don't know.
That
if
was-
I would remember that with
I
the
got
ball
goosebumps.
tailing away.
I got goosebumps.
I've got the picture. I am standing there. So we're holding the state championship thing. And there's me,
Yeah.
Russell Ash, Jim Heath, just all of these people
Yeah.
that I played with. And I remember the moment specifically. I am not looking at the camera. I'm holding my corner of the flag, looking off, literally saying, I can't believe that I asked for that moment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I got it.
And
Yeah,
you got
yes.
it.
And it happened,
Ask
and I
and you
ended
shall
the game.
receive sometimes.
And I was just in disbelief because I'll find the picture, and you'll just see me looking off like I can't believe that happened. But I
Yeah.
wanted it to come to me, and it did. And it would have been a
But
foul
you had
ball.
to make a hell of a play.
I
on
had
it
to make
as well.
I did have to make a hell
You
of
had
a
to make
play,
a hell of that's a
and it was awesome. And
that's
then-
a hustle play that we call that.
Yeah, that was a hustle play. But it was great. Those times, I mean, you don't get those things, and I feel bad for these kids because those moments just aren't
Sure.
coming like that.
Do you
There's
know-
some around here local.
Do you know how many times I've said in my 20 plus years in the basketball gym to freshmen, don't blink or it'll be your senior night. It'll be your last home game.
Yeah.
Right.
And they laugh at me.
Right.
And you know how many kids have said to me on their senior year,
You're
Shep,
right.
you were right. You were right.
Right.
I don't understand. And I'm like, Don't
It
blink.
goes by.
And enjoy it.
That's the kind of stuff that
Enjoy it.
that needs to come onto a microphone more often.
Yep. Enjoy
Enjoy
it.
it. Just enjoy it. Right.
Have the time of your life.
Right.
And I don't think they do enough, but some really do.
Yeah.
Well, and unfortunately now, most of their time is buried in their cell phone.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like they're worried about how
true.
many, I
Right.
don't know, tweets or whatever,
Sure.
likes or whatever it is.
Sure.
But so this guy Eric Gray came out and he did a podcast a few months back, 6 months ago, probably. It's
Yeah.
longer than that now.
Came
to
in
do
here.
this, but
Yeah.
Came all the way from San Francisco.
Yep.
Wow.
And then went
you
to
did
Boston
tell
too.
me that.
Yep.
Wow.
And the story that's in there is
Wow.
about my mom and then my dirt from Fenway.
Fenway. The Fenway
And,
Dirt.
Yeah,
Yes.
and just there's so many great stories, and it's just. And he said he wants to do it
Fenway
with
Dirt.
concerts. I
He's
think.
going to do concerts
Wants to do
next.
concerts as well.
Wow.
But it's such a nobody's written a book like that.
I know.
Like from the fans' perspective, it's-
Right.
He's not
From
some
that
award-winning
side of
author.
it.
He's just
Yep.
a guy that said, you know what, these are moments that I cherish and I've cherished with my family,
Yep.
and
Well, he
hundreds
was-
of thousands of.
He
others.
was only planning on writing one book, but he had like
That's true.
200 more stories.
The stories, yeah.
Than he needs. So he published the second.
That's
That's the
amazing.
second one right there.
Yep.
You're
That's
you're in
amazing.
the first one.
No, I'm in this one.
You're in this one.
Yeah, and don't ask me what page because I don't remember.
Well, now I have to read it.
Yeah, but it's great. I bought. I got 4 of them. I said bought 4. I got 4 of them, and I left one.
Hold it up to the camera
Yeah.
so people can see
I
it.
got right here. So I got 4 of them, and I had one at the station. So when people can have something to read, and there's other stuff there too.
Yeah.
And I came in, I'm like, where the hell? Somebody stole it. Somebody stole
What?
it out of the waiting room. Yeah.
Thank God you have 4 copies.
You know, we have
I
them.
did. I brought another one down. I'm like, yeah.
We have them here for sale, and quite honestly, I haven't done a very good job. No, I'm being honest. I need to try to sell these books for Eric because he left a couple here. So
I think
definitely
that's great
need to.
that he looks at it from that perspective instead of the athlete's perspective.
exactly,
You know?
Yeah.
exactly.
My greatest memories of Major League Baseball is the same age you're talking about.
Yeah, right.
My mom's from Richford, Vermont, right up on the border, and it was the Montreal Expos back then.
Right. Yep.
And they played in Jerry Park. Everyone thinks they played in Olympic Stadium. They played in their park was called Jerry Park, little ballpark, and we went there every summer. My aunt is a huge baseball fan, so it would be my mom, her sister, my aunt, and all the kids, and we would go up to Montreal. And I remember those days, and it happened to be. They were big Cincinnati Red fans, my mom and my aunt. It was the Joe Morgan, Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, Joe Morgan. Yeah, that whole era. Sparky Anderson, fabulous manager. So we would go up every summer to watch the Expos and the Reds play, and some of the best times of my life. Little teeny Jerry Park up in
She
Montreal.
needs to get in touch with Eric.
And we could get into Montreal, but we could never get out. It took us
Wow.
we just would get lost trying to leave.
One
Anyway.
of the stories that he's got in one of the books, I don't know if it was the first one or the second one, was father son who were huge fans of the Mets or whoever it was, and they went to a baseball game together. I think it was Wrigley Field, and
That's a good one.
and he was shipped out the next day to go to war.
Wow.
One of the wars in the Middle East, and never came home. And that was the last memory that Dad had with his kid was at that game.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, there's amazing stories in here.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
There's also heartwarming stories and not just sad ones.
Very
obviously.
true. Very true.
But,
Yes.
But it is. I like that he has those in there because I mean it is. Sometimes it is the
Absolutely.
last.
Sure.
The last
Yeah.
moment. I keep a lot of memorabilia, but let me try.
That's
that again.
good. You should.
I've got like everything from when we. So back then, if you won the state championships, they'd give you your state trophy.
Yeah.
And it'd be a Red Sox player. You know. I really wanted Clemens, and it wasn't. It wasn't. It's like Bruce Hurst or somebody like that.
Well, not a bad
But
picture.
whatever. So
yeah, sure.
you know, it was very cool to have those things, and I kept the the little fold out for the game schedule,
Yeah.
and it told you what the seats were. And
Yeah.
field box seats were $14.
Oh,
In
And
1980,
again.
1984, 1984.
Because you could go to the game with your family.
Right.
Get the hot dogs and
Right.
soda. Do
14
everything.
bucks.
Get your pennant and your foam finger, and everything was
Right.
under
Right.
$100 or under
Shep
$80.
she's just warming up for her podcast here. I mean, she's just warming up.
He just got me thinking. I'm like, gosh, baseball has been in my life since I
Sure.
was this high, and the
She's-
memories are fabulous.
She's going to be talking a whole hell of a lot of Mountaineers.
Yes.
Vermont Ravens football.
I got to get a contact there.
I've got the contact.
All right, thank you.
I'll sell it to you for less than Autry's phone
Okay,
number.
cool.
But there's a lot of stuff to talk about,
Yeah.
and you guys,
These, yeah,
the
These
two
two
of
cast
the
of
two of
characters.
you with Frank Pecora,
oh,
the three of you. Come
I'd love
on.
to see
yeah, okay.
No, I
you
love
need
Frank.
to do it. Get Pecora in here.
I
sit
will get.
down.
I promise he will come in. I have to wait till the Norwich baseball season is done. He is the head coach there, and you don't interfere with baseball
Right.
season, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Oh, he will. You better give us a
Do it.
3-hour block because
and get.
I don't think I'll get a word in between him and DJ.
Well, no. So what will be interesting to me, because obviously my time in high school ball, they were rivals.
Yep,
I
absolutely.
always like talking to coaches, that I've played against when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, I was a long-haired hippie-looking kid.
What?
Like I had long ass hair.
Hard time visualizing.
And I wouldn't fit. I didn't fit the
Goddamn
protocol.
Nightmares tonight.
But it was always fun to like talk to coaches.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yep. It
I
is.
just love to play the
Yeah.
game, and I respect. I mean, I played soccer, basketball, and baseball, and I always respected the game. I never once ever lashed out. A bad call. Never. There was nothing. None of that. And I just liked, like what was because for me, I have a horrible memory. But if you tell me something,
I was gonna say,
and
no,
you
you
bring
don't.
back, but if you bring back the
Right.
moment,
Right.
Yeah.
it,
Right.
it comes from the back filing cabinet.
Yep.
It comes from like, oh yeah, and that was that and this.
Yeah.
So
Well, we
Frank
remember
Pecora
feeling
is
it.
one that I would really, because I love playing against them, and he had a really good group of guys that we played against, and he's just a masterful coach.
Very much so.
Pissed me off so bad.
Very much
I just
so.
wanted one. I just wanted to beat him one time.
Yep.
No, whenever he'd come to like the playoffs, I mean, he was just locked down.
And even if he didn't have the team, there was one year when I was coaching at Northfield, and I don't know, he was like the 6th, 7th, or 8th seed, whatever. It just was a down year for him, which he didn't have
have
many,
very often.
if
Right.
he had any. Still won the state championship. He didn't have hitters, so he played small ball.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we're going to get on. We'll be patient in the box. Maybe we'll get on. We'll steal some bases. We'll
How
bunt
old
it.
is he now?
Well,
It's gonna be, must
late
be,
60s.
I was going to say late 60s.
Late 60s. Still coaching.
Yeah.
Retired from Northfield. He was the athletic director, assistant principal, baseball coach, and a father to all of us. Retired. A couple years later, he's at Norwich. I'm like, yeah, he can't. From Long Island, originally. Huge Dallas Cowboy fan.
Really?
Huge.
Really?
Oh my
and his-
God.
No kidding.
We
Which
would
just shows his
banter
intelligence level.
all winter long, because that was my season. I was coaching for him in the winter basketball season, and we would talk football all the time. He would just give me an earful about the Dolphins, which I didn't have a leg to stand on. And so the Cowboys, and they would frustrate him as well. But huge Yankee fan and Cowboy fan.
That's
Huge.
an oddity. I mean, I'm a hybrid. You don't see a lot. So I am a Sox fan, Celtics fan. I want the Bruins to win, but then I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
And the Patriots, I want them.
You're a big
No, I
Sox
want
fan.
the Patriots to win if it's not the Cowboys. But you don't see a lot of hybrids.
Can't do that.
You don't see a lot of Cowboys fans.
Can't do that. Can't cheer for the Patriots. But you get it. AFC East,
Right.
Dolphins can't cheer for the
I know.
Patriots.
I
You
get it.
can't cheer for the Giants and the Eagles.
Oh, and of all the places for Zeke to, it's the Eagles.
Yeah.
Did that happen? Didn't happen, did it?
I thought it didn't it.
No, I don't know. It could
Now you
have.
I thought it did, and I thought there was numbers and everything.
It might
Now
have
I've gotta
happened.
look- now I've gotta
I
look it up.
thought of that, but that was just me going, what happens if he wants to get back at the Cowboys? Does he want to get back at them? Yeah, he should go to the Eagles. He'll have his 16 touchdowns, and he'll carry the ball 8 times a game for 8 yards.
No, it didn't. So I think I saw, because I flipped by
might.
it so fast, and there, like I thought there was numbers. So even right now, it was 3 weeks ago, developing. All right, so it's not a dead.
Still
it's
might
not,
happen.
I don't.
Do you think he has anything left in the tank, though? I mean, come on.
He's
Let's be
built
honest.
like a brick shit house. I mean, if he is not going to peel off long yards, he hasn't been able to do that
he
for
will
quite a
get the
while.
ball for 8 to 10 times a game. He will have 15 yards, but 2 touchdowns.
Right. Yeah. He's a third down back, and he's a goal line.
But what a hell of a player.
He had a
though.
great. He had a great run.
career.
But again,
He did.
shelf life.
Shelf life.
These
Again,
guys aren't built for the test of time. They pound it and pound it.
You know what
pound
I'm
it.
built for? Sitting on the goddamn couch,
That's true.
watching American Idol. That's what I'm built for. Okay?
American Idol and what was the other one you were telling? Bachelorette?
Say yes to the dress.
Oh, I did. No,
The
you
Bachelor.
have not mentioned
The
that to me.
Bachelor.
Yeah.
You're
Bachelor.
watching The Bachelor? Shut up.
I
No.
didn't confirm nor deny.
What is Say Yes to the Dress? Is that really a show?
Shep,
It's something about wedding dresses.
have you ever seen my Gypsy Wedding? Have you ever seen that? No. Oh my God, Shep, you're messing it.
This is getting.
I love you guys, and listen.
And we love you. Or I love you. I can't speak for DJ.
Shep comes in here.
he's all right.
Shep comes in here the first night. Oh, I don't know. I might be a little nervous on the
I
camera.
don't really think my
She doesn't
voice was
even-
like that.
It was exactly like that. She doesn't even realize she's on the damn air. She's having so much fun. She doesn't even know. She doesn't even know where the cameras are. She's
That's
having
true.
so much fun.
I agree with that. You saw how shy the
That sounds
basketball girls were too when they came in.
Yes.
Real shy.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Good
She's
kids.
she's amazing.
Yeah, you're not telling me nothing.
She is amazing.
All right, stop.
Shep's coming.
Yeah, no,
and
it's this hand. Yeah.
I've got it. The Shep Storm.
Oh, that's kind of good.
Don't ring your bell on
And-
that.
No. All right, hold on. I'm muted.
That was a
Sorry.
Shep storm.
Oh.
What you just made
How
up
about
was a
this?
Shep
How about this for a name? 4 quarters, because for an hour we have 4 different subjects, 4 quarters.
storm. Oh, I like that. 15
And
minutes
we
each.
can't go over 15 minutes. If we do the horn sounds, we got to move on to the
Just
next
like
topic of the
just
day.
like pardon the interruption or any of those where you've got
Tanya McCauley had that idea.
I like that.
Well, actually, you want to know why she had that idea? Because she would say to me, you can run this drill for 10 minutes, and then 20 minutes later, I'm going, I still need 1 more minute. So she said I need to have a time
No, but
limit.
that makes sense because it does allow you to kind of stick to a script a
Right.
little bit.
Sure.
And 15 minutes is
more than enough
substantial amount of time to be able to talk about
time
most
to beat a
subjects.
subject up.
Right.
Yep.
I'm going to go home and ride my dirt bike with Lily.
With
in the
Lily.
yard.
Make sure you have a helmet on.
I will.
Okay.
She won't,
Make
but
sure
I will.
Lily has a helmet on.
She always does,
Yours-
especially with the story I heard. And for another day.
Jeez,
We have so many stories, Shep.
So many.
Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank
you, buddy.
you for having
Thanks
us.
for the fun. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night.